thank you both for being with us today. We're excited to start our Culture Catalyst interviews and for you guys to be kicking it off. This is going to be a series where we are interviewing leaders in the state in education and those people that are really trying to make a big difference and change the culture in their districts. And I know that is what you are doing right now in El Paso ISD. So we're excited to have Trent, the board president for EPISD, and Superintendent Juan Cabrera from El Paso ISD. And excited to talk to you guys today about your efforts there in El Paso and your success so far.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you.
So just to start off with, why did each one of you get into education in the first place? What brought you to the field of education?
You know, I wish I could say, why did I choose it? It kind of chose me.
Yes.
I think that my experience and our experience was a little bit different than probably most. We were actively engaged in our local community initially for many years. And then over a period of time, it just kind of transitioned into getting engaged and to being engaged in our school system. And so that kind of selected us. I don't know so much we selected it, and so we were anxious to get engaged and involved, and that's kind of how it worked for me personally. So,
I was a teacher in my 20s, and then spent 15 years as a lawyer in corporate work, and as I had a chance to think of a different career in my life, I wanted to go back in education. And there was an opportunity for me to be first a school lawyer and then superintendent of the district, and just want to give back and be a part of change. And this district certainly needed some change, and so it was the right place at the right time for me.
So share with us, what kind of student were you when you were in school yourself?
Juan was a great student. That's what I hear.
I was not a great student. I grew up in a single-parent household, and it was a little bit chaotic, and we were shuttled around a lot. And for me, if it wasn't for athletics, I wouldn't have done well in school. I probably wouldn't have survived. So that's why I do share that with Mr. Hatch, not only with athletics, but all extracurricular activities I think are really critical to the social development and growth of our children, in addition to the academics. I'm really a big supporter of that. But then finally in college, I did get my act together and really started to focus on academics and turn the corner, if you will.
And for me personally, if you open up your education book and you see what's a poor student look like, my picture would probably be there. I wasn't the greatest student. I did have a little bit of drive in my life, and a lot of that drive came from my athletic coaches and my fine arts teachers, you know. So I'm a huge advocate that students will perform better in the classroom if they have strong athletic and fine arts coaches and leaders and teachers.
I know that you all are embarking on the largest professional learning initiative probably in the state, and I want to hear a little bit about that, what your goals are for that and why you wanted to implement active learning in El Paso ISD.
It was my desire to move in this direction, so I met you a couple of years ago, and we brainstormed about what that work would look like in terms of an active learning framework. But we're trying to get, as teachers, to move from a pure lecture format into more of facilitating learning, student-directed learning amongst the kids in a collaborative environment. In my thinking, as I think about the modern workplace, a very collaborative, open spaces, the days of having your own desk and your own officer are nearly gone, irrespective of the sector. So if you think about what's important for success in life, it's not only your academic success, but it's your ability to collaborate, create, and work with your peers. So I like to call this a learning behind the learning. If we can create situations where children develop all these other intangible social and emotional skills while they're learning the academics, we think that they're much better prepared for life. These are opportunities that can be created in a classroom if you're intentional about it, to help children develop more holistically while they learn the academic standards that are required.
Parents ask us, what is this engaged to learn? What is this collaborative learning? And it's really simple. I just tell them, we're not creating and raising and educating robots. We want active students, once they leave our school system, to be prepared for the real world. We want students that can listen. We want students that can process. We want students that can communicate. and last but not least, that can implement. And when you get into the business sector and the business world, and whether it's the private sector, education, whatever it is, you have to be able to hit on all of those points. And so if we can prepare our students early on to be able to do some of those, to implement and to be able to understand those principles, they'll be much more prepared as they leave our school district. And EPISD is 100% behind that those goals.
I like to say active learning is a little bit like controlled chaos, right?
Right.
You've got to be okay and understand that the talking is learning and creating, and not only just getting to the right answers as a group or the collaborative right answers to the group, but it's also about them sorting things out, solving problems together. Because you know what? That's pretty much how life is. Most of it is sorting problems together, right? Yeah. So that's what's important. We want them to learn that. And again, as I mentioned earlier, not only is this a preparation for academics, but a preparation for life.
That's right. When we talk to teachers and those engaged who have taken the classes, who are becoming more engaged and engaged to learn, it's really kind of transformed our district. There's a lot of great things that are happening. So we're committed. We're fully committed. We need our teachers to be committed. We need the federations to be committed. We as our administration at Central Office need to be committed. We always have opportunity for improvement. And I believe this is a program that can help us long term as a district.
So I know Engaged to Learn, we're really thrilled to be your partner in this effort, and we're excited about the opportunity to be basically supporting all of your principals, teachers, central office leaders as we go through this process through the training and coaching. And I know that we have a responsible rollout planned for 1,000 classrooms a year over the next 4 years. So we have those 25 coaches coming out once a month for a full week, and then some others coming out at another time. And they are getting great reactions from the teachers. So they are, and the principals, they love working with your staff, and they are starting to see that culture change and starting to see them grow in their craft and embrace the coaching and the mentoring. And so that's very exciting for us. So in your mind, when you play this out over the next 4 years, what is the legacy that you want to leave? Like when the last classroom is touched with this, and you can look back on this effort, what are you hoping will have happened? What are you hoping that will, that it is a legacy that you're leaving. So what are you hoping that will look like?
I want folks to meet EPISD students and say, wow, they know how to communicate. They're confident communicators. They know how to collaborate. These are the kind of people I want in my workplace. Those are the kinds of skills, these social skills that I want them to develop. It's like the social EQ, the business EQ. Many of our kids don't have parents that work in a professional environment. So if they can learn some of these skills at school, they'll be better prepared to be successful in the workplace. And those are the kind I would love for people to say that about our graduates.
EPISD was one of the first districts of innovation in the state of Texas, so we were one of the first there. We were one of the first school districts in the region to bring in New Tech, a collaborative learning program. We're one of the first districts to bring in Engaged to Learn. We want to be a model school district where we lead and not follow.
So thank you both so much for your time today. It was fun to visit with you and exciting to hear once more about your vision. And just thank you also for what you're doing in public education. We know that our mission at Engage to Learn is to really make a difference in public education, where it's a tipping point that every parent and student would choose their neighborhood public school. And it's so important that this effort in EPISD be successful, not just for the 67,000 students that you have in EPISD, although it's very important for them, but really when we're able to prove that you can make public school the choice and the place where students are truly prepared for life and able to compete at the level that your students will be able to compete with those future-ready skills, then that becomes a model for the nation. So that becomes a model for public school all over the nation. So we're excited and thankful that you're willing and have the courage to move this effort forward so that it really can make a difference for public education across our entire nation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.